で読み直しているで読み直しているだけがで読み直しているで読み直しているで読み直しているで読み直しているで読み直しているエキスしたい人で読み直しているで読み直しているだけがで読み直しているで読み直している
And we're live, baby. Good morning. What's up, everybody? Oh, sorry, I'm 10 minutes late. Kept hitting my snooze this morning. Couldn't get out of bed. So I got to the gym a little late, and then I got here a little late. So, but guess what? I'll keep you waiting. I'll keep you waiting every day. Had a great weekend this weekend. Spent all of my time cleaning and preparing for Mother's birthday. Finally got my grass dialed in, and it's gonna be it's gonna be prime time for the concert next weekend too. So had a good week working and finished a new book. The one we talked about last time, 80/20 Sales and Marketing by Perry Marshall. The definitive guide to working less and making more. This was another one of those. I think it's kind of clickbaity. Work less, make more. I mean, if only it were that simple, right? For everybody, or is it that simple? I uh, I took a lot of notes from this one. I'm glad that we broke up last week's with this week's book. Last week's book, that second half took forever anyway, but I loved that book, Do Nothing. This one was awesome too, though. This is right up our business. This is Hey, what better title to a podcast than 80/20 Sales and Marketing to bring people in to listen? We'll see if anybody even shows up. Who wants to listen to Sales and Marketing podcast? You know why I do it, baby? Because I'm trying to get out of this motherfucking rat race. And I don't know how to do it. And I'm learning all of that I can from all of these wise people. And then at some point, it's going to take some action. So I'm gonna read you his points. We're gonna come up with some goals and some things to aspire to figure all of this out and to get out of the rat race, to stop working so much and to start making more money. Kind of goes hand in hand with the do nothing principle. Uh, if you remember anything from last week, how she explained from do nothing, an increase, taking extra hours of work for extra pay. You don't your reward does not match your effort. And this book kind of echoes the same thing. In fact, the principle of 80/20. Let's just jump right into it. But before I jump right into it, I got to say, this Saturday, Friday and Saturday is a concert night, and we're going rain or shine. It looks like it's going to be really good, though. I'll tell you what Windows weather says about this weekend. But it looked really good this morning. It looked good last night. Okay, we're looking at Friday night. Have a high of 83, a low of 48. Wow. With a 6% chance of rain. And if you don't know what the 6% chance of rain really means, I encourage you to figure it out, because I guarantee it's not what you think. And then Saturday's the same, high 84, low 51 with the 5% chance. We're looking really good. We got a lot of awesome live music coming to you. Friday will be really low key for friends and family, really mellow. And Saturday will be rowdier and louder for those of you who like to party. So come hang out with us either night. I'll send you the details to the location, and I'll send you the flyer. It's got all the deeds. And my great friend Hey B Moon, or otherwise known as formerly Jesus, or otherwise known as Braxton, made the flyer, and it looks really great. So, anyway, 80/20. Also, I got new protein. I went with vanilla, and I instantly regret it. And I put way too much milk in there, so it's a super big shake, and it's going to take forever to finish. Mm, that's not good. You show up for sales and marketing, and you get a little bit of ASMR protein, and I'm not even mad about it. 80/20 by Perry Marshall. Ugh. That's not 80/20 is not even Perry Marshall's idea. 80/20 comes from another guy who gives the foreword. His name is Richard Koch, or Coach. Did I talk about it last time? Did I say anything about? Because I feel like I remember talking about. Is it Koch or Coach or Koch or Koch? Don't matter. I'm just gonna jump right into it like I never talked about it. 80/20 is the principle. It's he calls it a power law. It's a power law, 80/20, and it is the power law that governs almost everything. Well, he talks this focuses about business, sales, and marketing, how to optimize your sales and your marketing, your time, how you spend your money to work the best for you, or just to work the best in general. So, 80 example, 80% of all of your sales come from 20% of your customers. And he gives to paint this story for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about. He tells a story right at the beginning of the book. He's at a seminar with about 80 people, and he says, "Okay, how many of you own a pair of shoes?" And everyone stands up. And then he says, "How many own 2 pairs?" And then, he does this. Goes 2, and then he says 4. Then how about 8? And then how about 16? And then more and more people sat down, and he got up to, I think he got to 64 pairs of shoes. Who has 64 pairs of shoes? And finally, it was like head and head between 2 people, and one of them sat down, and this lady had, like 100 shoes, 100 pair of shoes. And then he did it again with something else. He did it again with something else, and he says, "This is exactly what I mean. Everybody, there's any business will have 100% of customers buy 100% of their customers buy at least once, but 20% of their customers buy 80% of the product or the service." So that's the principle of 80/20. 80% of results come from 20% of efforts, and then the other 20% of your results come from the other 80% of your effort. So the point is to focus, to hone in your attention and your time on the 20% of effort that produces 80% of results. The power law is, here's a power law. Maybe 80/20 is not described as a power law. Maybe I got that wrong. But here's what I wrote for power laws. If foxes are 10% bigger than rabbits, you can expect 10 more. If foxes are 10 times bigger than rabbits, you can expect 10 times more rabbits than foxes. If foxes are 10 times bigger than rabbits, you can expect 10 times more rabbits than foxes. That's power law in nature. The real power of 80/20 is in the power of 2s and 3s. So the 80, if you want to, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to keep going. I'm not stopping this train. If you, 20% of your efforts bring 80% of your results, then 20% of 20% of your results bring 80% of the 80% of results, and so on and so forth. You could take that down however many times to really, dial in your 80/20. You know what? I think since I started reading this book, I thought a ton about it in my own life with carpet cleaning. I have a handful of clients, of customers that have tons of repeat business. And I haven't looked at the numbers, but this is, I totally should. I should figure out who's paying the most. Who's my 80% of revenue from 20% of my efforts. That's because that's the point. 20% of my efforts bring 80% of my revenue. And then on the flip side, 80% of my effort only brings 20% of revenue, the other 20%. And the number can be off. It could be 70-30. It can be 90-10. It can be 65-35. But the point is, the majority of a result comes from a minimum of an effort. And the majority of an effort brings the minority of a result. That's the law. That's the law of the book. That's why we read the book. Let's see. Then he gives examples on how to optimize, how to use 80-20. Chapter 2 is called Rack the Shotgun. It's basically, the point of the chapter is trigger your audience and see who responds. The analogy rack the shotgun comes from an example, a story that he shares about some guys in clubs in Vegas. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it. It's not important. It's not important. All you got to do is make sure you sell to the right person. That's racking the shotgun. So trigger your audience, see who responds. Chapter 3 is called You Can Do Better. Work smarter, not harder. Hone in on the 80% of results with the 20% of effort. 80-20. All right. 7 cardinal rules of the 80-20 salesperson. Here's 7 rules for the 80-20 salesperson. No cold calling ever. That's number 1. No cold calling. Number 2, you must know how much you're willing to pay for a new customer. Number 3, prospects who find you first are more likely to buy from you than if you find them first. So prospects who find you first are more likely to buy than if you find them. Number 4, you'll dramatically enhance credibility as a salesperson by authoring, speaking, or publishing material, something to give credibility to your name. Number 5, generate leads with info about solving problems, not about the product itself. Generate leads with info about solving problems, not about the product itself. Number 6, you'll attain best negotiating position with customers only when marketing generates deal flow that exceeds your capacity. I don't know what that means. You'll attain the best negotiating position with customers only when marketing generates deal flow that exceeds your capacity. I don't know what deal flow is. I don't remember. Number 7, most valuable asset is a well-maintained customer database. You know what? If the fucking Mormon Church would give this book to all of their missionaries and make them study this as part of their morning study routine, I bet the church would have far better missionaries. They kind of send you out and they're like, just pray to God and you'll be inspired on know what to do. And here's the White Handbook and learn the gospel really well. But the whole, like, you got to know how to sell the gospel, to sell the church, and how to do it effectively. And maybe they just do it in their own church ways without using direct sales and marketing lingo. And I just don't remember. But I just remember feeling like as a missionary, it was like, just go out there and work hard, knock on doors, and you'll get converts. But if you want to, if this principle holds true, if this idea holds true, then really the church should be teaching their missionaries, because that's all it is. It's a door-to-door sales gig, just like selling pest control or selling solar panels. All you're doing is peddling the gospel, peddling Book of Mormons. All right, moving on. I don't want to spend 100 hours on this. More notes from Chapter 3. You must thoroughly master one form of advertising media. Yeah. It's impossible to be proficient in every form of marketing and advertising, but you must be diverse enough to reach a range of customers. Cold calling is dead. Think positioning, not prospecting. By the way, this one was written, let's see, Bunch of reviews. This book was written in 2013. But I think the original 80/20 is much older. I don't want to reread the foreword. Anyway, yeah, so this is a relatively new book. All right, let's keep going. Chapter 5, how to use the invisible money finder. It's the power curve on his website. He has a lot of links to what his website it's to utilize your own business numbers and figure out how to use the 80/20 and the power curve and all of this in your own. The power curve is the most important curve in business, and it's pretty much understanding how much money customers are willing to pay for a certain experience. And the example he gives is like season pass holders to sporting events like the Jazz. There's a range of customers that will buy $30 of nosebleeder seats, a range of customers that's a little smaller that will buy better seats, a range of customers a little smaller that will buy floor seats. It gets smaller and smaller the more expensive it goes. But there are customers on all ends of the spectrum. So understanding the curve that's the most important curve in your business. Chapter 6, simplify your life with the power triangle. Here we go, dude. Everything's power. It's all power. It's 3 steps to selling anything you want. Number 1, get traffic. Who would buy this? Number 2, conversion. What can we say to persuade them to buy it? Number 3, economics. Can you reach them affordably, and can they give you the money? Primary marketing skill is to think backwards from your customer's need all the way to what you can provide. We're going. We're doing it. Chapter 7, 80/20 conversion. You must disqualify people who don't fit from your leads. 5 power disqualifiers. Do they have the money? Do they have a bleeding neck or a dire sense of urgency? Do they buy into your unique selling proposition? Do they have the ability to say yes? And does what you sell fit into their overall plans? So if they answer no to any of those questions, then they're not a candidate to buy. Yeah, that's 80/20 conversion. 5 power disqualifiers. Chapter 8, what is your unique selling proposition or your USP? Bad USP is direct competition or similar sales pitch from competitors. It's like being in Chicago and knocking door to doors with selling pest control, and turning a corner in a neighborhood, and there's another fucking sales rep that's already knocked all the doors that I'm in today, and I have to go fucking knock on all the same doors and try to resell the customers on my service instead of theirs. Oh, that's a bad, unique selling proposition. So here's useful points. 4 useful points for a unique selling proposition. Number 1, why should I listen? Number 2, why shouldn't I do business with anyone else? Number 3, what can your product do for me that no other products can do? And number 4, what can you guarantee me that no one else can guarantee? I could tell you all about. It's just business. It's all fucking business. I mean, it's easy to break it down. He gives examples for all of those points. Why you should listen. Why you should listen to me. Why you shouldn't do business with anyone else. You sell it with pest control. You sell it with carpet cleaning. You sell it being a missionary. What can you guarantee that no one else can guarantee? I could guarantee salvation, or I could guarantee that your carpet will be drier than anyone else. Whatever. Your business unique selling proposition is an extension of your own personal one. That's chapter 8. Chapter 9, it's not failure, it's testing. Experiment with educated advertising. That's all that I made for chapter 9. Yeah, the notes get very thin through here. A lot of it is marketing, or is like effective marketing. Chapter 10 is scale up massively. Yeah, it explains split test ads and market campaigns. Chapter 11, expand, diversify, and conquer. It's an expansion on split testing ads. Basically, it's publishing two different kinds of advertising. So, as a carpet cleaner, I could post a 99 3-room deal on one side, and then the other one I can advertise a $50 uh $50 discount on a house special or something, just two different ads and see which one gets the most traffic, and then it explains how to scale that. Chapter 12, make more from every customer. Rule of thumb. Here's the rule of thumb for chapter 12. 20% of people will spend 4 times the money, and 4% of people will spend 16 times the money on a product. And I don't know, I can't tell you why I got those numbers are the way they are. I'm sure it has something to do with the power curve and the 80-20 principle. But understanding that some customers there's a lot of customers that will pay a small price for a cheap service, and then there's very few customers that will pay very, very expensive. It's kind of like me that plays video games. When a new game comes out, you can buy the standard game for $60, or you can buy the expansion pack that has different characters and maps and guns or whatever for $120, and then you can buy the deluxe expansion pack that comes with, another world part of the game, like a different storyline. So most people are going to buy just the standard $60. And that's I think that's a big reason why most games these days are initially free to play. They're these beta games like Splitgate come out free to play. So the player database is huge because there's no cost to the player. They get to download the game for free and play for free. And a game like Splitgate is really high quality, and it's a ton of fun, made very well, and it's a unique game concept, even though it's exact replica of Halo and Portal, their child. If Halo and Portal had a baby, it would be Splitgate. But it's still an amazing, unique game. So people download the game for free, but then in the game, there's tons of things to buy. I mean, I think Fortnite they did it first and they nailed it. They were the first ones to do it and exposed how people are willing to buy so much crap, like game player skins, gun skins, vehicle skins, different characters. Just spend shit tons of money. Now most games are like that. All the games that I play are like that. Apex is free to download. Valorant is free to download. Splitgate. Modern Warfare. I don't play Fortnite anymore, but all of these games free to download, but tons of revenue comes in from buying. Yeah, okay, that's the point. So if there's even in that sense, tons of people are going to play the game for free and never buy anything. But some will buy 1 or 2 things, some will buy 5 or 6. Fewer will buy 10 or 12, and then fewer will buy everything that comes through. So that's on these game developers to keep producing new gadgets and skins and colors and dance moves and whatever else. Dude, this is fucking business. They just exposed a different kind of way to make and sell video games. That's pretty cool. Chapter 13. 4 words. Sell results, not procedures. Nice. Chapter 14. Made no notes. Chapter 15. Chapter 15. He says anybody who makes more than $30 an hour should hire a personal assistant because your time is more valuable than your money. So he says don't feel bad about hiring out tasks to focus on more important tasks for yourself. For me, since I heard that, I'm like, I'm going to hire a personal assistant. I make more than $30 an hour, and I think about after each podcast or editing the podcast or posting it, I go straight to booking jobs. And in my business, I think that's on the bottom end of my time productivity return. I could hire somebody to just book my jobs so I can go clean the jobs, get them done quicker, get done with my day quicker, and have somebody, and then they could do other things too. Like they could pay my rent, pay my bills. They could book personal things I mean, that's what do personal assistants do? And what do you pay a personal assistant? I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but I think that'd be pretty fucking awesome. It'd be really funny. And he says, don't feel bad about it. And I think some of the examples that he gives is hire people to mow your lawn, or hire people to shovel your driveway when it snows, and hire people to clean your house. There's just tasks that are better spent paying them out than working 8 hours on projects and then having to, and that's exactly what the last book says too, in Do Nothing. Your time is worth way more than your money. It will always be way more worth than your money. So, spend your money. If you're making enough, if you're productive enough in the time that you're working, then optimize the high paying hours and pay out the low paying hours. Because in 80/20, I didn't write the math down. He talks about it coming up actually. Yeah, I'll keep going. So chapter 16 is make $1,000 an hour doing what you love. More action without an effective strategy only causes more problems. Let's see. I didn't really write it down, yeah. But the idea, 80/20, 80% of, okay, if you look at your 8-hour workday, this is 80/20. If you look at your 8-hour workday, 6 hours of that work is likely producing 80% of your, is the most important part. Wait, 2 hours. Wait, I'm not going to use hours, but 20% of your workday produces 80% of your revenue, where 80% of your workday produces 20% of your income. So, it's tough being an hourly worker as an employee because you just get paid by the hour. But there are certainly, if you work for an hour really hard and then you take like a 30-minute break, or you're browsing emails and then you work really hard on your project again for an hour, and then you go to lunch for an hour and a half, shoot the shit, drive to work, drive back from work. The idea is a small part of your effort at work is mostly productive, but then a large portion of your time spent at work is like your breaks, going to the bathroom, looking through emails, texting, online shopping, whatever is minimal. So focus on your 20%. That's the 20% of effort that is producing the highest percent of productivity or revenue or results. And then hire out the other shit. Hire a personal assistant to book your jobs and to check to reply to boring emails and to do your shopping for you. That's what he's saying in the book. I'm not telling you to go get a personal assistant, but I'm also telling you to go get a personal assistant. He says if you make more than $30 an hour, your time is better spent doing the things that are most productive and hiring out the rest. Hire out your yard service. Hire someone to clean your house. What else can I say? What else can I say? It sounds so dumb. And I think the only reason I probably won't get a personal assistant is because I'm afraid of getting made fun of by my friends and family because I have a personal assistant. Oh, it's so funny though. I thought about, I could just pay like my brother's, like Canon, he's 17, just pay him, train him how to book the jobs and pay him. I don't know. It's funny. That's part of the book though. Here we go. Yeah, so chapter 16 was make a grand an hour doing what you love. So, what method of sales and marketing suits you best? Do that. You build a successful career despite your faults by investing time, money, education, and practice into your gifts. You build a successful career despite your faults by investing time, money, education, and practice into your gifts, into what you enjoy. That's a successful career. Some people love. Oh yeah, here's a good reason to. I know mashed potatoes. By the way, rest in peace, H. Langston 50, and welcome the reincarnated mashed potatoes. He says, I would clown you so hard if you had a personal assistant. That's exactly why I probably will never get a personal assistant. But that's what it's what he says in the book. I don't know what else to tell you. He says, some people love doing what you hate to do. So pay them to do it. Pay them to do it. That's really funny. I know it'd be so embarrassing. I feel like you have to make $1 million before you can pay. You could have an assistant, you know. But this is part of the culture. Okay, I'm gonna break it down. This is kind of part of the culture, like the overworking culture. And it goes back to some of the fallacies from the Art of Thinking Clearly. It goes back to Do Nothing, and this Sales and Marketing is oh fuck, I had an idea. Oh, I was thinking about millionaires. They have personal assistants. Our time is better spent. People do. Fuck, I had a thing I was going to say. And I was going to break it down. Oh, man, I'm really upset. And it goes back to the other books. Dude, I'm pissed. I'm going to have to keep going. Your personal assistant, Mashed Potatoes says, your personal assistant would have remembered this idea. Shut up, dude. Shut up. God damn it. Oh, overworking culture, working too hard culture. That's kind of coming back. Yeah. Okay. I think I got it. Going back to the point where some people love doing what you hate to do. We work ourselves really hard because there's a culture of look how accomplished I am because of how hard I work, or I work so hard, or I put so many hours into my job. Look how hard I work. That's supposed to be a good thing, but humans, it's never been like that. Homo sapiens have spent most of our existence relaxing and socializing with a few hours a day of hunting and gathering and supplying and just like menial tasks, but really hard work and isolation from friends and family. This is a new concept for us. So I think the idea of getting a personal assistant to focus on things that are important to you is part of getting through this abusive capitalistic society. It's not bad to hire out jobs or tasks that are better spent by paying them out. That's not but our culture says, well, if you can do it, at least this is my mentality. If I can mow my lawn, I should just go mow my lawn after work, or I can clean the house. I'm home, I can clean the house after work. So breaking out of that mentality is kind of what I'm saying. I think that's kind of the point. Optimize your time to what makes the most sense. And then don't let your friends judge you because you have a personal assistant. Man, I broke that down and it sounded dumb. I'm just going to keep going then. All right, chapter 17, hiring and outsourcing. He gives a long list. He explains the best hiring and outsourcing, uh, best ways to do that. Chapter 18, how to get more $100 hour work done with an assistant. More assistant talk. Okay, maybe I was just ahead of myself. Yep, if you make $30 an hour, you should hire an assistant. Chapter 19, fire the bottom 10%. Employees and customers. Fire your worst customers. Yeah, if you're a big enough company and you have plenty of employees, the business strategy is wash out your bottom 10% of employees and replace them because they're only bringing you down. And then same thing for your customers. I can think of my bottom 10% of customers who beg for favors, last minute favors, and bitch about pricing and bitch about the service all the time. All the time. And the mentality in the past has been, well, we need all the business. My mentality is I want all the business I can get because I don't want to lose customers and I don't want to lose money. But I've just learned the hard way that their business is not worth the toil. They're very I give certain customers very cheap rate, and I work extra hard to make them happy. Where I have other customers who are willing to pay for a premium service, and then consequently I'm happier being there and I do a better job serving them. So fire your bottom 10% of customers too, because you don't need them. That's chapter 19. Chapter 20, 80-20 controversy. I wrote, if you want adoration from people, accept you will be reviled by others. If you will not take a stand, you are boring and have nothing interesting to say. If you want adoration from people, accept that you will also be reviled by others. If you will not take a stand, you are boring and have nothing interesting to say. That's all I got to say. And I think that's why people liked my Mormon podcast so much, was I was very controversial. I was hello? Good morning. What are you doing? Good morning. I'll be done in a few minutes. I'll come say hi. Okay. Happy Monday. Women. And I love them. Chapter 21, market research in a single afternoon. Never go into a market unless you can write a page of your customer's diary. More marketing strategy. Understand your customers. What's your business's keyword? And then focus on that and sell your keyword. One effective business strategy, he says, is answer questions no one else is answering. Simple as that. Yeah, he says a lot of businesses have a frequently asked questions section on their websites. And those are questions that business can answer. So if you want to diversify, if you want to, your USP, your unique selling proposition, start answering questions that these businesses or other people aren't answering, that people are asking that aren't being answered. Let's see, chapter 22. I'm wrapping up. There's 25 chapters, so hang in there, bud. Chapter 22 is 1,000 things to pay attention to, and I have a list of 1,000 things. I'm just going to read them really. Just kidding. I made a couple notes. Disciplined marketing online is essential to dominate. I don't think I said that right. Disciplined marketing online is essential to dominate. 3 points. Money in, know how much money you spend, know how much money you're getting. Know your click-through rates on Google Ads or wherever you're advertising, and know the individual traffic sources. Figure out where the good clients are and where they are not. And then what's the next thing? That's kind of like it's product placement, I guess, right? That's why when you listen to Joe Rogan podcasts, you get the same ads on a loop every episode. And then you go to And then kind of how Instagram and Facebook ads are tailored to you. It's just product placement. Know where the good customers are. And guess what? I'm a good fucking customer. I've bought a lot of the shit that goes through my Instagram feed and on Joe Rogan podcast. And a lot of those comedian podcasts have the same people. It's because it's like they know their customers. It's kind of interesting and unsettling. But that's why Facebook makes so much money, right? Because they sell all of our data, or Google too. They sell our data so that when we talk out loud, our phone hears it and it gets sent to these clients that sell our info to advertisers and know who's buying what or who's willing to buy what. Right? Is that the idea? All right. Chapter 23, RFM. Recency, frequency, and money. Who you pay attention to in your business based on who's paying attention to you. R is recency. How recently has your customer purchased from you? Frequency is how often they've purchased. And money is how much money your customers spend. Understand your RFM. Who you pay attention to in your business based on who's paying attention to you. Okay, that's all of the business stuff. Then he kind of gets into the morals of business and 80-20. Chapter 24 is called My Latte's Too Foamy. This chapter is all about charity and giving back. And it's pretty straightforward. He's a big believer in being grateful for opportunity and understanding because just like in business, the 80-20 exists in business, 80-20 also exists in society. So the top 20% of people make 80% of the money, and then whatever that exact number is, but all at the same time, 80% of people make 20% of all of the money. So wherever you're at in there, he says, just be grateful for your position. And if you're striving for more, you understand there's still a balance. So he says to give to charities, and then part of giving to charities is disobeying true 80-20 principles. Instead of efficiency and productivity with your money, being charitable is straight defiance to 80-20. So he says know when to do that, know when to defy 80-20 and be generous. The summary to chapter 24, I said let's read it. Pareto summary. Also, what does Pareto mean? Pareto. There's 5 points. He says, life for the bottom 20% is pretty harsh. 80-20 taken to a ridiculous extreme is mercenary. No one likes living in a Darwinian world. Equality is higher, spiritual value. Charity is an inside job. The place you earn in the top 5% is an opportunity to be generous to the bottom 20%. Yeah, so if you make it to the top, be generous to the bottom. Chapter 25. Finally, achieving breakthrough. Don't sell harder. Market smarter. That's 80-20. So my summary for the book, really good book for understanding sales and marketing. I mean, the reason that I got it, I think I explained it earlier or before, was after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, I wanted to hone in my sales and marketing skills. And there's a ton of books out there. And the highest rated sales and marketing book, I shared it before. It was like a 10-hour read or 17-hour read. What was it? It was just no, I don't want to see my library. Yeah. It was an expensive book. I don't care about the price. It was just a very long read. I don't know where it is. But this one was ranked really high too. and then there were a ton of books by Grant Cardone, and they were not rated very well, which was odd. This one was both rated very well and was like a 7.5 hour listen. So I got through it I got through it and enjoyed it. And I love the principles, how to optimize the time, your useful time, and then just cut out the bullshit. Cut out the 80% of fluff. Work smarter, not harder. Don't work harder, market smarter. You know, there's the mentality, instead of just putting in more hours and knocking on more doors or making more calls or advertising harder without the education. It's not that working harder does not produce like advertising smarter or selling smarter, marketing smarter. It's not even close, actually. That's the point. It's like the working harder part does not produce even close to the results as working smarter. And that's what Do Nothing says. I keep going back to that book, but I loved that book. So I would totally recommend it. And I'm going to try to, I know I'm doing a lot of learning and reading, but the success part comes from action and living these principles. And the more that I'm not perfect at doing all the things, but I hope that the more I am a part of this journey, that I start implementing these principles more, start seeing results. So anyway, that's it. We're going to wrap it up there. Sales and Marketing 80/20 by Perry Marshall. Next week, I've already got my book picked out, and I'm not going to share what it is. It's a different topic, a subject I haven't talked about before. And I'm really excited, and we'll talk about it when we get there. And until then, this weekend is the concert. Don't forget. And I didn't say it at the beginning because I totally forgot, but I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say, if you listen to this podcast later in the week, I do it live on Monday mornings around 8 o'clock in the morning, Mountain Standard Time. And you're welcome to come comment with mashed potatoes. Thank you, Father. He said, "Good job, son." I said, "Thank you, Father." You could come hang out. I do it on YouTube. I do it on Facebook, and do it live on Twitch. Probably the easiest place to find me is on my Facebook page, Cadence Podcast, and with all the links there. You find me on Instagram with the links, or wherever, or you can text me if you know me. So have a great week. Go do something challenging. Start implementing these 80/20 principles. Figure out where your time is best spent. Emphasize those times, and then hire a personal trainer or a personal assistant to do the other shit, because people are willing to be paid to do stuff like that, and don't feel bad about it. So go have a great week. Hopefully we'll see you this weekend. Talk to you soon, at least next week, and goodbye.
They